I'd like to call this meeting of the Sterling Heights City Council to order. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials. Grant them courage and wisdom to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Riska. Could we please have the roll call?
Mayor Taylor, Mayor Pro Tem Sarowski.
Here.
Mrs. Koski.
Present.
Mr. Radke.
Present.
Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Yanez.
Here.
Mrs. Yarko.
Present.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Riska. Just to let everybody know, Mayor Taylor and Ms. Schmidt are on family vacations, and we wish them well. So a little bit jealous that they're enjoying the warm weather. Okay, council, we need approval of the agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Mrs. Koski?
move to approve the agenda as
Support.
presented.
Support. It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and motion carries. Thank you. First item tonight is a report from our Assistant City Manager, Dale Dwowjikowski. But before he starts, we want to welcome our Mr. former Chief Dale Dwowjikowski to the podium, and let's give him a little round of applause.
Thank you. I do have a paper name tag, so it's not that official yet, but yes,
Hedging their bets.
Still on probation.
yes, thank you.
But it does stand out.
I do have a few things in my city manager's report. The first is our cultural exchange that we have every year. The city of Sterling Heights and its Ethnic Community Committee will host the 27th annual cultural exchange on Friday, March 7th, from 6 to 10 p.m. at our community center directly across the street. It's a free event. The 2025 Cultural Exchange features a wide array of ethnic music, dance, educational, cultural displays from area groups and organizations, and a variety of desserts, breads, dips, and food from around the world. Cultures represented will include the African American Coalition, Albanian, Bulgarian, Chaldean, Filipino, German, Hispanic, Indian, Iraqi, Irish, Italian, Macedonian, Polish, Scottish, Slovakian, and Turkish, and many, many more. A minimum donation of $1 is suggested to help fund future events, and this event is sponsored by the Ethnic Community Committee. Overflow parking will be available right across the street in the library police department parking lot. Calling all artists. Sterling Heights, known for its long-standing commitment to public art, is now commissioning 1 or 2 professional artists, and I think that's up on the display there. 1 or 2 professional artists to paint 2 upcycled wind turbine art pieces. These are actually parts of a gigantic wind turbine. These are another city's art installation. We're going to do something very, very similar to what you see there in the picture. A covered swing and a bench with a signage area will be installed at the new community center, or the Community Garden and Butterfly Conservatory in James C. Nelson Park, which is set to open on May 1st. Both pieces, which serve as functional seating and canvases for public art, support the city's Visioning 2040 goals for sustainability and environmental responsibility. The swing is made from the root end of a wind turbine blade and measures approximately 96 inches wide, 36 inches deep, and is 80 by 86 inches tall. While the bench is crafted, let me get to that picture. While the bench is crafted from a retired turbine blade, which is 144 inches wide and 66 inches deep. The works will be delivered, primed, and ready for painting, and the art will be completed by April 28th and will be promoted through various media and community events. Further information can be found on Sterling Heights Public Art on the Sterling Heights website at sterlingheights.gov/public-art. And finally, a storm emergency update. As you know, we called a snow emergency this last weekend. The snow started coming down around Thursday and pretty much snowed the entire weekend. We declared a snow emergency on February 10th, and over the next few days, the city received multiple rounds of heavy snow. A declared snow emergency allows the city to quickly and safely clear all major roadways and subdivision streets without additional hazards of parked vehicles in the street. Over 60 miles of major roadways and an additional 289 miles of local streets need to be plowed and or salted during significant snow and ice storms. Not to mention the 28 city park locations that have to have all the trails and walking paths cleared. 36 plow vehicles staffed by 60 Department of Public Works employees working 16-hour shifts seamlessly move throughout the city to clear the roadways as quickly as possible. Code enforcement officers and police officers also work to remove vehicles in violation of the snow emergency from the roadway. This enforcement action ensures that large plow trucks and emergency vehicles can access city streets during a snow emergency. 740 citations were issued, and an additional 550 vehicles were removed from the roadway. In addition to parking citations, vehicles can and will be towed if they are substantially blocking a street or cul-de-sac. When we speak of public safety, we often think of police officers and firefighters. However, the Department of Public Works is equally responsible for public safety in weather emergencies, to clear roadways and streets so that all of our residents can safely traverse in and out of Sterling Heights. I'd like to thank all of our emergency workers for the long hours they put in over the last few days, and the vast majority of our residents that complied with the snow emergency to ensure that the safety of everyone that lives, works, and plays in Sterling Heights is assured. I may be biased, but driving through the other communities over the weekend, the roads in Sterling Heights looked fantastic. And Mayor Pro Tem Sarowski, that concludes my report.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Dwadzikowski. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next up, we have presentations for the swearing-in ceremony for new Sterling Heights police officers with a presentation from our interim chief of police, Ken Pappas. Mr. Pappas, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Member of Council, Mr. Dwadzikowski, Mr. Kazubski. Please turn that heat down. Tonight, I would like to present the newest members of the Sterling Heights family. If you guys want to stand up. I drew a diagram.
That's the problem. You drew a diagram.
First up, we have Liz Demink. Liz grew up here in Sterling Heights, attended the Macomb County Police Academy, worked previously with the Macomb County Dispatch. She came to us from Utica PD.
Pardon me, our procedures are that they have to face the council.
Okay.
So much for the diagram.
I actually had them standing over there.
You're
All
fine.
right, here we
You're
go.
fine.
We'll get this together.
Yes.
Liz is married to one of our K-9 officers, Scott Demink. I will say that Liz is a special swearing in for me. For the users that don't know, her father, retired Lieutenant Bruce Hamill, served 30 years with our department. He was special to me. I learned a lot about leadership in this profession, so I'm very grateful to him. I hope to pass some of that along on to your daughter. So thank you, sir. Next, we have James Morgan, and you guys are just as special, even if I don't know your dad. Still good. We have James Morgan. He grew up in K-Pac, has a master's degree from Bowling Green University, attended the Macomb Police Academy and the Oakland Fire Academy. He's worked previously at Port Huron PD, Fraser. He was a sergeant with the Oakland County Sheriffs and came to us from Bloomfield Hills. He is also married. Next to him, we have Barry Andrade. Barry was born and raised in Florida. He has a bachelor's degree from Florida Gulf Coast University. He attended West Point. He's a graduate of the Macomb County Police Academy. He was working as a sergeant for Utica before he came to us, and he is also married. Next to him, we have Louis Shalabi. Louis is of Palestinian descent, grew up in Ypsilanti, currently in the process of moving to Berkeley. He worked at Dearborn Heights Police Department and currently working at U of M PD. He attended Washtenaw County Police Academy. He comes highly recommended by John Mark Branch, who is a phenomenal addition to our police department, so we expect good things. Last, we have Dustin Nelson. Now, Dustin, he came to us from Redford Police Department, but he lives here in Sterling Heights. And on his first day, he said he was so happy about his new 2-minute commute to work. He has a bachelor's degree from Oakland University, attended the Macomb County Police Academy, and he is also married. Are you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Swear you in. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, James Morgan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that of the state of Michigan,
and that of the state of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of police officer
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of police officer
in and for the city of Sterling Heights,
in and for the city of Sterling Heights,
and that I will strive to maintain the highest standards of that department
and that I will strive to maintain the highest standards of that department
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
Congratulations. I think the Hastings behind you. So Liz, who will be pinning your badge on for you tonight?
My dad, Bruce Campbell.
Right.
Incidentally, it's my badge number.
That's nice.
She's getting his badge. Liz, would you like to say a few words?
I just wanted to say I'm very thankful for being here. It is an honor to serve the city of Sterling Heights. Growing up here, having my dad being a police officer for 30 years, I just hope I can fill half the shoes that he did when he was here. Thank you.
James, who will be pinning your badge on for you?
My wife Christy, my son Benjamin.
Need help with Benji, or you got it?
He's ready. Very nice.
Just want to say thank you, City Council, for having us tonight. Thank you to Intern Chief Pappas. The Sterling Heights PD and city staff have been very welcoming and accommodating, and I look forward to getting started. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my family and friends that have supported me throughout my career. And again, I'm looking forward and honored to be here, and I'm excited about this. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Barry, who will be pinning your badge on for you?
My wife Basha will be, and if my son can come out of the corner.
Out from underneath the seats.
Okay. My wife Basha, my son James.
Oh, man.
Adorable.
Hey, buddy. Hey, come here. Oh, can you hold mommy?
Hey, buddy, you gotta move.
Other side.
Gotta get out of the way, dude. Lift your head up, please. They don't make these easy, huh? Sorry.
Okay, great.
Members of council, I just want to say how grateful I am to be here. Since I've been in Michigan, I've lived on the border in Utica, and I see the professionalism of this department, and it's been an absolute pleasure the first week here, seeing how this department has been for the past roughly 8 years. It's always been a model police department, and if I had to say, probably the best police department in the state of Michigan. With any major life transition, you can't do it without your family and your close friends, and I just want to say thank you to all of them, especially my wife, Bosch, and my children. So thank you very much for having me.
Louis, who will be pinning your badge on for you?
My partner from Dearborn Heights, Kokoy.
Sure you don't want to come back to the
I think the better question is when is he coming to school?
I did a couple years in the Marine Corps. I like the abuse at Dearborn Heights. I'm gonna stick there. Yeah, that too. Yeah,
Hey.
So I just want to say thank you to the Police Department, City Council for the honor to work here. What you can expect out of me is an honest, integrable, transparent, and respectful police officer, and I look forward to a long career here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Justin, who will be pinning your badge on for you?
my daughter Addison.
Very good.
Just like to thank the council as well as the city for this opportunity. As the interim chief said, I'm a resident here, so I'm excited to get started not only as an officer, but as the resident. Also, the connections that I have with the city, graduated from Henry Ford 2 high school, and Mr. Assistant City Manager. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that my wife was very excited to be here today because you were her DARE officer way back when. So there she is. She was very excited to.
That long ago.
Very first year.
It worked.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Council, I'd like to thank you. As I stated, all these individuals came from other departments, and if it wasn't for the support, for the training, our equipment, the contracts that you settle, we wouldn't be able to acquire the best and brightest from other departments, and this is a direct reflection of your support for the police department. So I want to thank you for that, and I'd like you to welcome you to come down and introduce yourself to the newest members to our family.
Okay, we'll do that in just a second. We
Okay.
just have a few things to say, and then we will come down and
See, last
congrats.
time you did it after you said hi.
You know,
I
it's a-
watched the video.
We're trying to we're trying to measure up. So, council, I'm going to open it up for discussion. Anyone would like to make some comments? Mr. Yanos.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I just want to say congratulations. As a former city employee, I'm going to tell you, this is a great place to work. It absolutely is. This is, let's see, some of you guys here, one of you guys couldn't keep a job, right? You were in like 5 different departments. I understand that's how you progress. I'm just joking that you can't keep a job. Okay, so they don't know what you're doing. Okay.
You know how firefighters are.
I'm
Don't
just
say
going to
that.
stop there, but no. This is a great place to work. You're going to finish your career here, and you're going to have a great career, and you and your family will be taken care of. I promise you that. So congratulations on being here, and congratulations on your swearing in.
Thank you, Mr. Yanos. Go ahead, Mrs. Arco.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
First of all, I am grateful that you chose Sterling Heights for your place of employment. We made a promise to our residents with our Safe Street Millage that we would make sure that we hired and filled all the positions in the police department, fire department, and took care of our streets. And because you're here, you help us keep that promise. So now I want you to go out and bring a friend, because we probably have more openings, and if it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. But in this environment that we're in, it's tougher and tougher to recruit people to come into law enforcement. So if you can help us in that way, we'd really appreciate it. Stay safe out there. If you need anything, we support you in what you want to do, and welcome aboard, and we're glad to have you here.
Thank you, Ms. Yarko. Ms. Koski.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I also would like to welcome you to Sterling Heights and say thank you very, very much for choosing us. You have made the right choice because we are the best in the whole world. So you will have the opportunity to continue your training, and we even have different activities that you can participate in. But again, thank you for choosing us, and I want you to know that this council supports our police department. We try to give you what you need to protect yourself and to protect our community. So good luck to you and welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Koski. And Mr. Radke.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I don't have much of a voice tonight, so I'll keep my comments very brief. Sterling Heights, we welcome you. We have the best department in the state, in my opinion, and we have a very high standard here. And I'm sure that if you're here before us, you're going to meet and exceed that standard. And we're going to give you everything you need to meet that standard, but we're going to expect a lot. You know, I'm always so impressed by our candidates because we have a very high standard here, and our residents expect it. They pay for it, and we're going to hold you to that. But anything you need, you come see us. We are really a family, and we take that very seriously. And I'm always so honored that people embrace public service. They're willing to protect their communities. They're willing to put their lives on the line. It's something very special because, like my colleagues were saying, some people aren't embracing public service right now. So thank you, and thank your families who are here for letting you do this work, because it's not easy work. There's going to be nights you're not going to be home. There's going to be holidays that you're going to miss, but you're doing it for the greater good, and we appreciate that. So I want you to stay safe. If you need anything, let us know, and go represent us to the best of your ability. That's all I have, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Radke. And I too want to make some comments. And as a mother of a Marine and who is also a security officer, I understand a bit of what you do. It's a little different as and I know, and I'm the mother, not the person doing the, serving as, in the positions you do, but I am very grateful for all that you do. And to your families, I do know how you feel when they go out and you hope that they're, everything's safe and you trust that they'll be safe, but it's still that little bit in your back of your mind where you're so proud and terrified at the same time. So I want you to always remember that your families are there and they're supporting you. We're here supporting you, as Mr. Radke said and my colleagues said. We are very proud of our department. We're very proud of the people that we have in our department who do such great service, and I thank you very much. And that's all I have. And with that, we're going to come down now and congratulate them.
Round of applause first, I think.
Okay, round of applause. Okay, now we can go.
Which way are we going? That way? Sure. Go that way?
Doesn't really matter.
That way.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I hear like
I know they're a little too soft to be on the fire department. Oh. Congratulations.
Welcome aboard. Elizabeth, right? Elizabeth?
There's also a pen clicker.
Welcome aboard.
Finally made it. I was wondering how long it was gonna take. Longer than I wanted it. We're here. It's official now.
Good job standing there. Good job.
And for working here.
Okay. Get everybody back.
Conclude our presentation if you're good.
Okay, well, thank you so much. One final round of applause for everyone. And with that, can we take a 5-minute recess just so that we can have the families go out into the foyer and take pictures and give us a moment to clear the room? So thank you again and congratulations.
that type of together. Forever.
many hours to do.
Okay, thank you very much, and we will resume our meeting now. And the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on the consent agenda in the audience? Yes, Mrs. Sorry. Yeah. Yvonne.
Nice.
Yes.
Good evening, Yvonne Nyes.
Yes.
On consent agenda item G, to approve traffic control order 6-88 to prohibit on-street parking at any time on the west side of Edison Court and around the cul-de-sac. Obviously, nobody, or the person who wrote this and decided on it, has never been on Edison Court during nice weather. Prior to the redoing, people were parked on both sides of Edison Court and on the cul-de-sac. We need way more parking. If you're not going to have a parking lot, you've got to allow parking on both sides. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay. That will close our consent agenda. Council, we need a motion.
Diana,
Deanna?
is it it's your turn.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, Mrs. Kosky.
move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported with no discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okey dokey. Next, we will move on to communications from citizens. This is a portion of the agenda where the audience may speak on any item not on the agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on anything not on tonight's agenda? Okay, I'm going to go with the young lady in the back behind Mrs. Nyes.
Thank you.
Oh.
We didn't practice this. Hi, everyone. Good evening, members of City Council. My name is Elizabeth Capolo. I'm with the Sterling Heights Drug-Free Coalition, as is Lieutenant Susala, but I know you know him already. I'm here to talk about our upcoming event, Black Balloon Day. Black Balloon Day is an event that we host to raise awareness surrounding overdose and substance misuse and to honor lives lost to overdose. Black Balloon Day is a reminder that each person lost to overdose is more than just a statistic. They're a family member, a friend, a neighbor, and their stories deserve to be heard. This event is on Thursday, March 6th. Doors will open at 6 p.m. and we'll also be offering food and refreshments and naloxone or Narcan trainings at that time. And our program is set to start at 7 p.m. I want to extend a personal invitation to all members of City Council to attend Black Balloon Day. Your attendance would mean a great deal to the community members and to us as a coalition. And I just want to thank you for all of your continued support of our mission. So thank you.
Where will it be held?
At Fellowship Chapel. That's in Sterling Heights as well. Thank you. Good question.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else? Mrs. Nyes? Thank you.
Once again, Yvonne Nyes, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Regarding the snow emergency, we probably need to come up with a different word other than emergency because 6 inches over 5 or 6 days doesn't really constitute an emergency, but I understand the need to get the streets plowed. But there has to be some point that the DPW thinks about this. My street was plowed on Sunday morning around 5 a.m., sometime between 4:30 and 5:30. I know that because the plow is loud and it woke me up. At this point, for the second batch of snow, we'd only had about 2.5 inches based on what Shelby Township was counting. And they had already plowed a little bit earlier, like in the evening. So the snowplow drivers should have gone and got a little bit of rest because plowing 2 inches, 2.5 inches, or plowing 4 inches, those plows can do it with the same speed, and it's not going to take anything extra, and those guys could have had a little bit of rest in between, because they came around a couple of hours later and plowed yet again, and then a few hours later, they were out again, only this time to try and get to some of the other streets. And you can't say it's because my street is a school bus route, which it is, because this is Sunday morning and there's no school buses on Sunday morning. So they really do need to think about how often they're plowing, for what, and continuing to use the word emergency, probably not a good idea. That's just crying wolf. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yourself. Anyone else in the audience? Okay, we can close that portion of the meeting and move on to reports then from city administration. Mr. Dworzakowski, any reports tonight, or would you like to address any of the comments from the audience?
No report tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Koszybski?
Nothing tonight, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, very good. Council, any reports or new business? We'll start with Mr. Yanes.
So through the chair to the Assistant City Manager, Dworzakowski, of the 550 cars removed, were those towed, and are they paying a towing fee?
No, those are not. We try to get voluntary compliance because there's so many vehicles during a snow emergency. So we'll go up to a door, we'll talk to a resident that's shoveling and say, can you move your car? It can't be on the street. So those are voluntarily removed from the roadway.
Warnings.
Yep, warnings, yep.
Okay, so 740 citations is, from my recollection, I couldn't find the report that was last provided to us, and I think it was probably a couple winters ago. But I believe that's an increase. I'm sure when you report to the city manager, he'll be thrilled to know that Councilman Yanes is disappointed in this number. We've talked about trying to message out better that we have a snow emergency. I know that we do emails and people can sign up for text messages. I got all the text messages. But the fact of the matter is, 740 citations is too many. Our DPW is trying to plow these streets. They're trying to get it done in a safe, quick, and efficient manner. And 740 is too many. So we need to look at what we can do better to advise people. I would like to know, we have this database of people who got tickets. I would like to know why they left their car on the street. We should be doing a survey and ask them, did they know about it? Did they know they could sign up for text messaging and emails? Did they just ignore it and were willing to pay the fine? I would like to know why we have so many of these folks getting citations and leaving their cars on the street. It's just not, it's just not an efficient way to do this. If it's a true emergency, then, we need to treat it like an emergency. And I think there are other ways that we can get the word out so we don't have so many cars violating the snow emergency. So that, I will say, Black Balloon Day, that's fantastic. I'm sorry, unfortunately, I won't be able to make it this year. That's important to me. It's important to my family. I appreciate the work that you do and the support that City Council has given this event in the past. So that's, again, March 6th, correct? At 7 o'clock at 6 o'clock.
Wait, at 6 o'clock? You said 7 earlier.
Yeah, I believe you said 7.
I wrote it down.
We'll have to check the tape. But and what was the name of the facility again? Fellowship Chapel, which is located? At like 14. No, but you will have a flyer or some sort of posting, correct? Okay, very good. And then, yeah, I'd like to know more about the parking at Edison Court. Ms. Nyes brings up a great point. In the summertime, that place is packed. And, where are all these people going to park if they want to come and use the new pathway or just use Dodge Park or whatever? So I'd like to know more about that. So I hope you're taking notes, Mr. Assistant City Manager. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yanes. Mr. Radke.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Just very briefly, on Edison Court in the past, I think it was a free-for-all, and that was not a very positive public safety situation. So through the chair to Assistant Manager Dworzakowski, In the past, how did we enforce on Edison Court? What did we do? What would happen out there?
Yeah, it was, again, it was kind of an older road that was kind of falling apart. So people parked on both sides of the road in an area that was gravel, unimproved, and it was kind of on a little bit of an angle. And cars would park haphazardly in that area, cars everywhere. And more importantly, in the cul-de-sac too, there would be cars. The fire department uses as a court as the main access point for public safety emergencies. Any kind of fire runs, emergency medical runs, to get the boat in the river if they need to put the boat, happens right there at Edison Court, so we cannot have cars in that court. And we do have Lieutenant Susala, who wrote this traffic control order up. If you have any questions, anyone at council, he is here tonight about parking and issues. But I definitely am taking notes, and the idea of, supplemental parking or additional parking, if that area is constantly full, is something that's probably going to have to be looked at. After the entire road got completely redone, the parking along the east side of the road now is designated. It's more of a parallel parking situation, but no cars can be in the cul-de-sac.
Right. And that's the reason I asked is I think we need to monitor it with this new situation. If it's constantly full, we will take action to ensure that this is not a crowding situation. But I think that the whole point of a parking lot is for people to park in it. So if it gets parked in, then we're doing something right. So I don't see a need to, at the start of it, try to figure it out. I think we're going to monitor it this year, and we'll figure out if we need to make a change as needed. Talk about the snow emergency. So Councilman Yanez, I remember in the past issuing over 1,000 snow emergency tickets, and you asked for the same survey a couple of years ago, and the result was what we all expected. Part of the problem with it's a little bit loud out there. Part of the problem with the snow emergency is, frankly, in my opinion, our snow emergency fine is too low. It's $25. Troy has $75 tickets for violating the snow emergency. I think some people are making a business decision. They're deciding this is not worth me going and moving my car because the fine is only $25. To the chair, to Assistant Chief, or Assistant City Manager, Dojikowski. Pardon me. Do we have any repeat offenders in this most recent snow emergency?
Yeah, so we just started, I believe it was last year. We keep a database running in every officer's police car and all of our code enforcement officers' car. When we issue a ticket, we put their name and their plate in the database. And for the next year, every time we write a ticket, we check that database to see if that is a frequent flyer that has received a ticket. If they did, it is a second or subsequent charge. So this last snow emergency, out of those 740 tickets, only one person out of the 740 was a second charge. But then again, last year we had no snow emergency, so it's been a while.
So I guess what I would say is maybe we need to extend that database to 2 years, because it seems to me that 1 year may not be enough, especially if we only have one snow emergency. But more than that, I think it's frustrating to the residents. Like, you got to take some personal responsibility. We live in a city. We're adults. We have cars. We have 50,000 residences. So 740 tickets and 550 warnings are just a little bit over 1% of probably all the vehicles. If each house had one, but I think most houses have more than one, it's 1% of the vehicles in the city. You're going to get that in any kind of traffic enforcement situation. People who don't care, people who don't pay attention, people who didn't know. And I think the city is doing everything we can through text messages, emails, the website, the news, to inform our residents to move their cars. And let's be honest, if you lived in Michigan for more than a year, you know this is likely to happen. A snow emergency is on the agenda. So I find it awfully frustrating that we don't talk about personal responsibility. People need to move their cars. If they don't move their cars, they'll get fined. This isn't hard. I'm sorry that 740 people got tickets. I wish they wouldn't have. But if we don't enforce the snow emergency, the 36 plows which are trying to clean your neighborhoods are unable to do their job. It's going to make the snow emergency last longer. It's going to make the neighborhoods more treacherous. Let's be honest, you can't please everyone. For every person who calls and complains about their $25 ticket, an overtime ticket in Detroit for overmeter is $55. For a $25 ticket, there are tons of people who call and say, this car has never moved in my neighborhood. they always plow around it. I have to always get around it. So to me, we are doing the best we can, and residents should do the best they can. And I think it's just farcical to think that somehow we're going to reach out and touch every one of these people, and suddenly they'll see the light and move their car from the streets. We're adults. We should act like adults. So in my opinion, we should raise the fine on the snow emergency tickets to make it so that we're not, I spoke with Mr. Vanderpool before he left. He tells me that to enforce the snow emergency actually costs the city more than anything we collect. I'm not saying we have to make money or even break even, but the idea that we are spending money to move cars, and people are still unhappy, I think the fine should go up. And that might not be a popular thing, but you know what? We're adults, we're made here to have tough decisions. I think that we should have a survey of surrounding cities, what they charge, and we should adjust our fee accordingly. That's all I have, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Radke. Mrs. Yarko.
Oh, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Sarowski. Just wanted to remind everybody about the cultural exchange on March the 7th, because it's a great event. But then also the Black Balloon event on March the 6th. And if you haven't been, you should go. I mean, it's actually to help people who have lost somebody through drug addiction, for death from drug addiction. But we all know somebody that has passed away, or that's in recovery. But it's a great event, and the ceremony itself and what you learn from other people and listening to them, you know that you're helping them just by being there and supporting them through the grief. Because I don't think it's something that you ever get over. So I'm grateful that we are changing up different places to have it with the different, because I think it was at St. Michael's last year maybe. So, and the Fellowship Chapel is actually right on 14 Mile, and I think it's just west of Shaner. And then as far as, I think the DPW did a great job taking care of our streets. I mean, the way the snow emergencies or whatever we're going to think about calling them. But the fact that it was over so many days, and rather than tell people, go ahead and put your car on the street and then move it again, this is the first time. I have lived on this street for 47 years. And it's the first time in a snow emergency that the plows did not have to go around a car. And that isn't, it was the street entering my sub, it was turning the corner, it was on my street. What I did notice that I don't know if giving people suggestions on how to get their cars off the street, but some of them were parking them like perpendicular on their apron of the driveway in order to get them off the street. So I don't know if that was a suggestion that when they were, told that they had to get moved, but it's the first time in 47 years that the plow did not have to go around somebody. So I think that's a good thing. So however we got the message out there, my street listened. So, nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Yarko. Mrs. Keski.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Through the chair to our new Assistant City Manager. Now that we have Edison Court finished, I have been talking with the city manager for a number of years about putting Kleino Road through. And he said, well, when we get all our paths done leading up to Lakeside, then we'll work on it. Yes, I've been talking to them about it. Well, now that Edison Court is done, maybe we could go back and talk to them about Kleino Road. That would also solve your parking problem. So that's something I'm going to request of you, to have a little
Okay, I'll definitely
conversation with him.
I'll look into it and definitely get you an update on that project. I know you've brought that up in the past.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay, well, thank you. Finally, I just wanted to also echo a couple of my colleagues' comments. One is the cultural exchange, which if none of you have ever been there, it is a fantastic event, fun-filled with food and dancing and music, and that's just in one room. Then we have the other room that has all of the different cultures and different communities that have set up booths to either talk to them about their culture or buy their items. So it's very interesting and energetic and a great night, and I think it's one of our best events of the year. I'm very happy to promote it again as usual, and I'm looking very much forward to it. On the Black Balloon event, I do want to make sure that people, if you haven't heard it, make sure you come. And I know that we're going to have a flyer that we can post as well to the residents. But it is, and it's not, it is so, after COVID or during COVID, because we were just getting into really understanding or really making a big push as a community, as a culture in a country about our drug and the fentanyl problems and drug overdose issues, and that's when Narcan was really starting to be pushed, and then COVID hit. And it kind of fell to the wayside. People were more concerned about COVID and their health as opposed to the drug overdoses in their families. It doesn't mean that it did not go away, and it did not even lessen, but it is still extremely devastating, especially when it's a fentanyl overdose. And as a nurse, I've seen it, and I've seen, I know family members, friends of family members, dear friends of mine, who thought they were taking a medication, may not have obtained it the most legal way, unfortunately, but that was not what, it should not have fentanyl, or it wasn't heroin even, and they died of a fentanyl overdose. And that's because it was laced with fentanyl. So this whole problem, which is such a small word for the enormity of it, has not gone away, is starting to get a little bit under, I don't want to say under control, but at least a little bit more understood. And coming to this Black Balloon event, it doesn't, it's there to really, as Mrs. Yarko said, really support the families, to honor their loved ones. There's a picture of everyone who comes and who has submitted a picture of their family member who has passed. You see them, and they're from all walks of life. Every race, every creed, every nationality. And it's an age, of course, and it's just devastating to see that. And so it really brings it home that we need to continue to fight the fight. And so I thank you for coming and bringing that to our attention. Thank you, Officer Sasala, for always heading that up for us with the Drug Free Coalition. And we do need to continue to fight as hard as we can to prevent any more drug overdoses, which I know that's a grand idea, but maybe it'll happen. And that's all I have tonight. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported with no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes, and the meeting is adjourned.
Yay.